Hi everyone, welcome to FLOSSTUBE 43. I'm Karen Combs and this video will be about stitching, mostly cross stitch, but you'll see a little bit of other kind of stitching as well. Well, it's been almost a month since I had a regular floss tube. Back in December we had, it'd be FLOSSTUBE 41, which was a whip and finish parade. And then also had FLOSSTUBE 42, which was what should I pick for my birthday start? So you're going to see that. But let's get right into it. I have some things to tell you. I've got some things to show you I've been working on. Here is my January book of days. And I've been keeping track of what I've been working on. And I wanted to mention, back in December, I did a floss tube about how I set up my book. And some of the ideas that I used for my book came from Georgia, who is on Instagram. Well, Georgia just posted, maybe a week ago, a video about how she set up her book of days. It is fabulous. So I'm going to put a link in the description box so you can go and take a look at that. I have added a couple of things. I did put guilds, the guilds I belong to and what the programs are. And then I also added the clubs that I belong to this year. I've switched a couple of the clubs. I'm still in the Vicki Clayton Silk Pack Club, the variegated floss, but I've added a couple other ones. So I wanted to keep track of that. So I dropped some, added some, so I put that in here so I would remember. The rest is the same as in the video that I did in December, but I did want to show you that. And be sure to check out George's Book of Days. Like I said, fabulous ideas. If you like to use your book of days to keep totally organized, perfect way to do it. As I mentioned in some of my earlier floss tubes, I like to use Cross Stitch or X Stitch Plus, the app. And that's where I keep track of anything that I purchase to put in the inventory. I don't use it as much for my starts, but you can put projects in there, but I use it to keep track. Because more than once before I started using it, I would purchase a chart and then realize I already had it. So I do use that, and I think it's $9.99 or $10 a year for that. But one of my early floss tubes, I show that more in depth. I'm not sure which one. So one more, when I'm looking at my notes, one more thing is, I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe a week and a half ago, there was a lecture from, in April. In April, there is coming out Tennessee Sampler's book by the University of Knoxville Press, and it has been in the works for 20 years. And there was a lecture that I attended live about some of the samplers, about the book, and it's up on YouTube. So I'm going to link to that too, so you can take a look at it. The book will be out, as I said, April, May, somewhere in there. So it's a pre-order, but it is coming, and it's over 300 pages, I think. I'm excited to get it. So I will put that information, the exact title of the book and the lecture link, so you can watch that. So what have I been working on since I last came to you with a regular floss tube? Well, I showed this chart and I had a pitiful start on it, so I worked on that. This is Riley Harbor by Kathy Barrick. Get it so you don't get a glare. I just had the smallest, tiniest little start, and it was embarrassing. But I did work on it, and I've got the silks, the silk conversion. Actually, it's not a conversion. This chart has NPI or DMC, and I got the NPI from Hillside Rookery, a shop on Etsy, and here they are. I will link to that. There's not too many colors you can see, but they're very pretty. Oh, I just love how the colors blend like that. But I did work on that a little bit. I love the back cover with the big whale. I love that. So I am doing this on 40 count oatmeal. I just looked at them right before I came to you, and then I thought, did I forget already? So I got, last time I had part of a tree and part of a house. So I did, I'm gonna hold it up close, and this, when I hold it back, that is a more true color. When you get close, it washes out a little bit. So I did change the color of the first house. It was charted for something that was pale yellow, which blended right into my linen. So I did look at the colors, and I picked one of the other colors. So I did change that, but that's why. So worked on that, at least one day, maybe a couple days. Worked on that. Did I say what that was on? Yes. It's on 46 count. I think I wrote that down wrong in my book of days, or I read it wrong. Fiber on a whim, 46 count. No wonder it's so little and cute. So that's 46 count. I did not iron everything this time. I did it last time and didn't want to iron too much, shrink up the threads. I'm still on the fence about that. I like how things look when they're ironed, but if you use steam, it could shrink the fibers a little bit. So anyway, I did not iron this time. One of the other things that I worked on that I also had a very small start on is Coffee Quaker. And the comments in one of my last, I think it was video 41, and I did not write down who said it, said this is a companion to Say, I believe it's Say Coffee by Heartstring Samplers, so the color palette is the same. I was happy to know that because I might just work on both of those. And always a quandary, why do I have two different, oh, I know why I have. See, this is why I need tags on these. These are the colors. And yes, it's using some Gentle Art, some Weeks. I know why I have two skeins in there. So there's the colors. I pulled this other skein, and I don't remember what this was from, one of the other projects I worked on, because I did change the color on here. And this is on, I'm gonna have to just look. I thought I'd remember. I already messed up the 40 count and 46, so I just need to look it up. This is 40 count Stars Hollow by R&R. So I got a couple more motifs. Let's see, that's about the color. Sorry for the hoop mark. You can see that this motif right here is light, and the color that it was called for washed out totally. Let me come up here. So that's why I pulled that other skein. Pulled something similar. I think I changed it to Chickpea. Oh, this was for Marianne Kopp. Okay, that's what those were from. So I did get a little further on the motifs on that, and that's why I changed the color, because I think it called for, yes, it called for caramel corn, and caramel corn was pretty ghosty. So I changed it to, hadn't put these back yet. And what I mean by that is I'll put these back on the master rings. And I did a floss tube of, maybe 40, and did a tour. So you can see how I store those. Where is Chickpea? Well, it's somewhere in here. There it is. So here's caramel corn, and you can see I changed it to something just a little darker because of the linen. Let me see if I can hold that up. That's not working very well, is it? Let me put it like this. I just want you to see the difference. So you can see it's still very light, even with the chickpea, but with the caramel corn on the linen I had selected, it really was pale. So I decided to change it. That's why I have that in there. And I am actually using the called for Stars Hollow Blend. So if you're using the called for, that might be something to just watch. And you can see on the cover, it's still very pretty. But I wanted that motif, since it was a pretty big one, to show up a little bit more. So that's why I decided to change it. And my little coffee bean needle minder. Also, I'll show it to you, and then I'm gonna come back to it. I worked on Mary Finley, which was a mystery chart with Shakespeare's Peddler and Scarlet House. And we didn't know what we were getting. We just knew it was going to be if you ordered it. Didn't know what it was going to be, but this was it, and it's beautiful. And it calls for, let's see how light, the linen looks very light, but it calls for, pull it out here, button box, medium dark from Mason Linen. And I could not get that. But when I was at Hobby House, I did find Mason Linen in antique button. Did I get the right one? Maybe I did. No, it calls for button box medium dark. Well, I found antique button medium dark. So I thought, well, it's similar, it's close, maybe not exactly, but it's close. So here it is. I just want to show that again, because sometimes the photos don't do it justice. You can see it looks very light, and I had pulled several linens, and then I was going to Hobby House, and I thought, I'm going to take a look when I'm there. So that's the color. You can see I just took it out of the hoop. And I'm down there to the little trees, which will have an animal under each one. And let me show it to you. It's got 2 dogs and 2 rabbits. Well, the dogs, there's a black one, and there's a lighter one. Get where you can see it. And I'm going to use, do the black dog, but I'm going to add some white on it. So it's like our little Shih Tzu Coco, who's no longer with us. And then the white one, I'm going to add some brown to it. So it's looks like our little dog Benji. And if you follow me on Instagram, I did post that Benji had surgery a couple days ago. And he's doing all right. He has to wear one of those collars, and we did get an inflatable one at PetSmart, so it's not quite as, it's restrictive, but it's more comfortable. He doesn't like that, but he's tolerating it, but he's doing all right. Here's the silks, Vicki Clayton silks that I'm using. I think it only has 8 colors. So I'm looking forward to getting to, hold it, there we go. Looking forward to getting the little animals in. But I didn't have much of the border done and the flowers, so I did work on that. I'm gonna hold this because I'm gonna talk about this again. So those are what I worked on that were whips, but I had some new starts, especially after I just said I finished 4 things in December because I had too many whips, and of course I'd go ahead and start, but that's okay. I did have a conversation with several people after my whip parade, and they were curious about if I was bothered by my whip number, or when I showed all the kits, if I was bothered by that. And I'm not, because I waited a long time to be able to stitch, because before I was very busy with my career and there just wasn't time. So I'm enjoying gathering. And what did I read? Something fun. Collecting supplies and using supplies are two different hobbies. So I am mindful of what I'm getting now, because I have a lot of wonderful things that I want to get to, but I'm not at this point too worried about what I have or how many I've started. And I do go through my stash occasionally, and I do sell some things, and I do give away some things. So for right now, I'm not too worried about it, but I have slowed down on acquisitions because I want to work on some of my beautiful things. So stop talking about that and show us what you started. This is another beautiful chart by Kathy Barrick, a winter sampler. Now, why did I start this? Well, I was in Mondays with Mary Facebook group, and Veronica, who is Senorita Stitcher on Instagram, and I'll put her Instagram down. She, in the chat, said she wanted to start a Christmas Eve start, and I thought, we had a very quiet holiday, and I thought, I can do that. So I started this Christmas Eve day, and again, the trees with the little animals, I just love that. So I am, because now I don't remember, here it is. I am using 40 count Dead Sea, and I love this linen. This is a very interesting linen. Look at the, I'm gonna hold it closer, but see the modeling? I thought it would be very interesting with that. Here are the called for. Looks like I'm using the DMC called for. Some really pretty colors in there. You've got some teals. So I'll hold this close up. And this called for sand fiber on a whim. And I did look at the modeling and start it where there's less modeling. So let me go close so you can see it. So I've got, there we go, the snowflakes, the tree, the rabbit. I know when I hold it back, you don't see the stitching as much, but you can see the color of the linen then. But you can see the stitching. I know my light's really close. Hopefully it's not blowing out the color. So I worked on that for a couple of days and enjoyed that. So called for, it does have either the MPI or I'm doing the DMC. And I had this linen, the Dead Sea linen, and I wondered what I was going to do with it, and I really like that. It's got a little bit of blue in it toward the bottom, blue-gray. So I thought it'd be a good option. Yes, I do have a project bag for this. This is in one of my other winter stitch folk. It just reminds me of winter, so I have some of my winter stitching in there. All right, let me get that over there together. And then another start that I have several, so just hang on. This is a Sal with the Stitch Across the Pond Facebook group. They do a Zoom call or a Zoom meeting. It's really a chat. It's lovely. Once a month. The seating is limited. I missed it this month. I kept looking for, you have to register, and I kept looking for the link to register, and I just did not spot it in time. But I am working on their Sal, and they are also on Facebook. So a lot of people aren't going to the meetings. Well, I should say more people are in the Sal than are going to the meetings, probably just because of scheduling, or like me, couldn't get in. But there's a lot of people working on that. This is One Stitch at a Time by Lottie Da. And I am doing this on 40 count Miss Crescent's Crown linen. Color is Madeline. And I am using the, got the silk pack. Actually, there is a silk pack now. I did my own conversion from Vicki Clayton. So I just pulled colors that were close to the DMC. But I think Vicki has a silk pack now you can order. And this is in my new bag. Patchwork paw print. Who is on Etsy. Look at this, another winter. I didn't have very many winter bags, so love this fabric. Now, what am I showing? I'm showing the stitching. Get that. So I get a good start on it. I started on the top left. This is a big piece of linen. I won't use all this, but I didn't want to cut it down yet. Here's the color. Let me go close so you can see it. And the verse on it says, beautiful things come together one stitch at a time. Now it has hem stitching all around. And if you're going to do the hem stitching, you need to use a 4-inch or leave a 4-inch border. I decided not to do the hem stitching. I want to frame it, or depending on the size, put it in a pillow. I don't know, it's probably too big for a pillow, but frame it. So I want to put this in this room, in my stitching room. So worked on that. That's a solid, it goes all year. Some people have already finished it. It's a quick stitch. I only worked on it a few days and got that much done. So that was a new start. And I have 3 more. 3 more starts. I had said in the last video I was going to do a snow day start, and I did, and it's snowing again. So I'll probably, when I finish the video, go back to working on this. Doesn't snow very often in Middle Tennessee, so when we get snow, it's kind of a special occasion, so I wanted a snow day start. And this is on, now let me tell you what it is first. And I don't even have a project bag. Oh, I shouldn't have it there. Just have it in a bag. I need to put it in my winter bag. This is Modern Folk Embroidery, Real Comfort. And I am just going to do the houses and the verse with the cartouche around it. I am not going to do the Jane Austen. So I'm just doing the middle part, basically. And I am doing this on Picture This Plus Ancient, which is very modeled. And I am using the Painter's Thread 103 silk that are over dyed, and it's Picasso. Let me hold it up so you can see. It's stunning on this linen. I was so excited to start this. I've been thinking about this. Oh, it's so pretty. Now, there's the color, and I know that's pretty far away. Let me get up close. Look how pretty that is. I did post this on Instagram. I usually don't post things until after I've done a floss tube about them, but oh, this Painter's Thread is so pretty. I think it shows better when I hold it up close. So I've got half the houses. I've got like that part done. So this is working up pretty quickly. I was surprised. And again, I just worked on it a couple of days while we had snow. And it's, like I said, it's snowing again. I'm looking out the window. It's going to be 9 degrees here tonight. So we had a couple of cold days coming up. So I'm going to be working on this, I think. So that was a new start. And then going to the video I just did, I pulled 68 charts and kits. And you might ask, why 68? Well, I was trying to decide what birthday start to do. And why did I pick 68? Well, because it's going to be my 68th birthday. So, I'm going to pull up my starts here so I can get the right linen. I started, and there were lots of good comments. I'm pulling the charts here about what I should start. And it was hard, and a lot of people said what I felt. How are you going to pick? Exactly. So, let me pull the things. I actually started two things because one is smaller and didn't take me very long to do part of it. So I thought, I'm going to do a bigger one and a smaller one. So what I decided to do for my smaller one, here we go, is Simply Winter by the Drawn Thread. And there are 4 charts. There's Simply Winter, Simply Spring, Simply Autumn, and Simply Summer. And as you can see, you can do them all separately or on the back of the chart. You can see how they can be put all together. And I saw Stitchy Linda and Peter from Oh Pete's Sake doing it, and they've posted that on Instagram. I put their links in the last video, and I loved what they did. And I actually had thought about this over a year ago, maybe a year and a half, because I got all of the called for, yes, mostly Gentle Arts. Is it all? There's a couple weeks in there, but here, and I went ahead when we were at Cecilia's, and that's like a year and a half ago, got all the colors. And then when I went to Country Stitch Peddler down in Decatur, Alabama, I picked up this Stormy Night because I thought, well, it shows it kind of on a blue-gray. See, the front shows it on more of a tan. So I thought, well, I like the blue-gray, so I got the Stormy Night, and I started stitching it. I got 40 count, and I was having difficulty stitching on it. And I don't know why, but I was, and I wasn't having a good time. And I've used Stormy Night before. I don't know why. Maybe it was just me. But I thought, all right, I'm gonna look in my linens and find something else. So I pulled this beautiful gray, which is by Fox and Rabbit, Elephant Walk. I'm gonna show you the linen, then I'll show you what I'm stitching. There's the linen. Let me show you the difference. And I like the Stormy Night color. I think it would be really beautiful. Here's the Stormy Night. Oh, those colors are simply gorgeous on it. And I tried a lot of different linens I had, and I liked this. This is the Elephant Walk. I might need to change something, but it looked pretty good. So it didn't take me very long at all to do Simply Winter. But if you look at the back of the chart, you can see how it's isolated, and you can see how it's isolated without the alphabet. And I decided I did not want the alphabet. I think Linda and Peter also did that. So you can refer to the chart. You have to add a story to the house. It's 2-story. It had to add a story. But I am so pleased with it. I don't think I made any changes. I don't think I did. I don't have any notes on that. So here it is. And I'm gonna hold it up close so you can see it. I feel like the colors are blowing out, and it might just be me because the linen is, or the light is right in my eyes, but I'm doing that so you can see it. So there it is, and those are Smyrna crosses, but you could just do cross stitch for the snow. That's the only specialty stitch on that. So that didn't take very long, so I thought, all right, I have to do another start, because my plan is to do, at the start of each season, I'll do the next. And here's the chart without the alphabet. I'll probably have to add a little bit of something where the bird is, maybe some more leaves on the tree, or more vine coming out of the bird's mouth. I'll figure that out when I get to it. But I really do like it. And I'm looking forward to doing the rest. So that was one start, one birthday start. All right, where is this going? One birthday start. It's got a cascade. And the other birthday start, I had a lot of people ask me about this. Get everything ready here. Or say they would start this. And I was actually gonna wait till March, till closer to St. Patrick's Day. Are you guessing the one I'm doing that I'd started? But I pulled the threads, and if you remember last time when I showed Celtic Band Sampler, I had pulled the DMC, but then I also had some hand dyes, and for the life of me, I couldn't remember why I pulled everything. So a couple days ago, I was laying it out, looking at what I did, and I realized I had all the colors pulled, and I had already matched a hand-dyed conversion to the DMC, because it does call for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 DMC. I had pulled those, and then I'd gone to my stash and pulled colors. And when I realized that, I thought, I'm ready to go. I have the linen, which is 36 count Lollybrock. I was set. So I'll show you what I've stitched, and let me show you the colors. So this is what I've done. I've done the DMC and then the corresponding color. So you can see there, that's DMC 844. I'm doing hickory sticks. I did change, I think one drastically. This is 902. Change that for Indian Summer. You can see it's very close. This one is 924. And I changed it for Weeks Deep Sea. I think the Deep Sea is just a tad lighter or darker. Then 3362, I changed to Otter Creek. I wanted, well, just a little variegation in it. And this one I did change. It called for 315. I didn't want it quite that mauve-y, so I changed it to raspberry, Weeks Raspberry. See, it's a little darker. 500, I changed to Blue Spruce. It's just a tad darker, but same color family. I showed this one already, yes. Then there are two golds. 829, I changed to, I was using this, it's all kind of watered up. Tarnished gold. Ignore that. There you go. This one was a little difficult. It calls for 831 DMC. I had pulled Weeks Olive, but then I decided to do Gentle Arts Mustard Seed. The olive was just a little different, so I think I've gone on through them all. So I kept the original DMC and then my conversion here. And what I haven't done yet is made a tag to put on here so I know what this is for. I need to do that when I get done with the video. So there's the threads and the changes I made. I worked on this, worked on it yesterday, I think 2 days. And sometimes I can stitch for a few hours. Sometimes I don't get that much. Was able to stitch quite a bit yesterday. I'm going to show you the picture one more time. And this is, and I'm doing, starting in the upper left corner. Left corner. It's the way I cross my cross stitches. That's easier for me. There's the lollybrock. Let me get close up so you can see. Look at how pretty that is. There is back stitch. So if you don't like back stitch, there is one section that's back stitch, which I guess you could leave out. And I did change the color of the letters. They were going to be the more gray, and I changed it to the deep sea. But there it is. So I got probably 2/3 of the top across done. I didn't want to change my hoop, so I just move it, so I just kept going down. So there it is. This is by Homespun Sampler, the Celtic Band Sampler. I know I bought it at Etsy, but I know 123 Stitch has it. I love the Celtic design with the back stitch. Granted, it takes a little while, but look at that. I've got an acorn down there to do. I missed that. But those are my birthday starts. The Simply Winter, etc. by the Drawn Thread and the Celtic Band Sampler. So it was hard to decide. And I actually had a couple other things pulled, but those are what won. And why, I don't know why, but when I get in the mood to start something, I just need to do it instead of wait. And I really was in the mood for those two. So that's what I decided to do. And I had, I'll show you the contenders, because I know many of you, we talked about when you would comment, I talked about, yes, I'm going to put that on the short list. And it was really hard to pare down. But these are some that I think this year, if I start anything else, when I'm going to pull from, unless something else comes up. But this was one I almost started, and then the Celtic Band Sampler won out, that has come into my garden by Blackbird. I love this. It's all kitted, and it's kitted with, if you saw it last time, it's kitted with Vintage Lentil by Lakeside, and I've got all the threads. I still may start that, but that, I've had this kitted almost 2 years, I think. So that was one that was in the contention. This was another one, As the Crow Flies Pin Keep. I love that. Got this from Hobby House as a kit. I think it was something, it's the whole kit. And they had some extras. So I don't even know what it's. Every time I pull these out, look at the colors. Oh, I love those colors. I'm not sure what that's kitted on. I don't know if it's Dames of the Needle. I don't know if that's what it's kitted with. Cosmic Platinum, I'm not sure. But it's gorgeous, so that's one that's way up on the list, because it's a good small, relatively small. 89 by 142. So it's probably going to take longer than you think, because it's got quite a bit of a border, but that one was another one that was very tempting to start, as was this. This was almost my snow day start. Baby It's Cold Outside by Heartstring Samplery. It's the colors that get me. Look at the, let me show it. This is the linen. What is this? Cocoa Ale. I was able to get the called for 36 count. So that's another one that I almost started. So these I'm going to put in a special spot. So if I want to start something, I'm going to look at these first. This was an exclusive with the Facebook group. I'm not sure if it's available yet. Stacy Nash, Rose Hill Farm Sampler and Pin Keep. It's all kitted. I really love that big red house. I have several that have a big red house. Well, yeah, baby, it's cold outside, and this one too. I live in a red house, a red brick house, so maybe that's why. Plum Street, This Joyous Season. And I haven't pulled the linen, but I do have all the DMC pulled. Someone asked me why I kit so many, mostly because I don't live by a shop, and I can go to Hobby Lobby and get DMC, or I can pull from my case back there and then replace what I pulled. But I have to order most things unless I'm going to a shop, and then I'll take some charts with me to kit. Because I don't know about you, but when I feel in the mood to start working on something, I want to start. If I have to wait and then get something, the momentum's gone. And that's how it is for me. So I like to have things kitted, and not all, no, not all. But over the years, I have kitted things thinking I'm going to start right away, and they're waiting their turn. That's why, mostly because I don't live by anywhere to get supplies, not close. It's at least an hour to an hour and a half, and no one near me carries the Veriswa silk. So I have to order all of those, the 103s. There's a shop in Nashville, a needlepoint shop, that they do have some silks. So occasionally I'll go up there. But anyway, that's why. There are two more that they're patriotic that I really want to stitch. The Home of the Free by Willow Hill. This is a PDF that I purchased from their Etsy shop. And it's all set. Even made a floss card. It's all set to go. And this one by Thread Milk, Liberty Feather Tree. I love that. I think that will be really nice to go with some of my patriotic that I have just finished or I'm working on. So those are the short list. And if I had to pick, I'd probably do the patriotic. But my plans, I'm going to show you some haul, then I'll show you the plans. I don't have much haul. This is heavy. Just a little bit, and some of it I ordered way back in the fall that just finally came in. So, or it came in when I was doing the other floss tubes. This one, Royal School of Needlework, Stitch Bank, 200 Essential Embroidery Stitches. This is a gorgeous book. It's very thick. It's got 200 stitches. How many pages? Over 300. They're separated by section so that you can go to that section. And their sections are, it's beautifully illustrated. Their sections are basic stitches, outline and border stitches, filling stitches, shading stitches, open filling stitches, edging stitches, embellishment stitches. Pull that up. And every section is color-coded. Beautifully illustrated. What a lovely, lovely book. Let me just grab one here. Of course, now I'm going to get, I'm just going to do it real quick, but this is cross-stitch showing the English method and the Danish method, and beautifully illustrated. It's a beautiful book. So I ordered that, and that came in. And I'm still looking. Oh, and there's a ribbon. Can you see? So you can mark what you're looking for. That's from the Royal School of Needlework. I think I actually ordered mine from Thrift Books, but I know other places have it as well. I know many of you have seen this. I ordered this back in November, I think, and it came in. This is Plum Street Samplers Salem Sampler. I think Audrey at Stitch Stitch Bead is working on that, and she talks about changing the verse. I ordered this from Needle and Flax because this is the linen, Gallows Hill, it's called for. And I pulled the DMC. Haven't put them on cards yet. DMC and some weeks in Gentle Arts. Quite a few colors. And here it is. Gallows Hills. I love that. I'm thinking I might change the verse as well. Audrey talks about it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there yet. But it's got the Death Angel from Tombstone on there. And I actually have mentioned this before, but I have ancestors from early New England, and some of the headstones I've been able to find of theirs do have that motif. So it's kind of special to be able to stitch that. And I had some from Salem, some from other places, Plymouth Plantation, but a lot of New England roots many centuries ago. But I did get that, the Plum Street Sampler, Salem Sampler. And then a couple things from Hobby House. I've looked at this and finally decided to order it. I didn't get anything except just the charts on this one, Prancer. It's like, why are you showing Christmas? Well, it came in December, and I haven't done a regular floss tube since December. So this one I love, this Feather Tree Christmas, also by Hobby House. And I did order it calls for Manor Red, like Classic Color Works, so I did order that. This is Merry Christmas. So I did not pull any linen. And the other chart that I ordered was Candy Cane Lane by With a Needle and Thread. I think Sean from Periwinkle Stitcher showed this. Beautiful. So I had to order that. Oh, and look, a big red house. So that's all the haul that I got. I'm waiting for a couple other things. That's the other thing, is why I kit some things ahead, because our mail is horrible and has been for a couple of years now. And there's a lot of reasons why, but it's just horrible and I don't see it changing. And there's a chart that I ordered back in middle of December. We are almost the end of January here and I still don't have it. It's coming, keeps bouncing around different places. So that's the other thing. I get frustrated. So if I have things kitted to go ahead and do, because I wanted to do this chart that I'll show you next time, as maybe one of the birthday starts and I don't have it yet. So anyway, that's the other reason. So the only other thing I'm going to show you, I gotta reach this, is I am a member of the Tudor Rose Guild, a member of several guilds, but the Tudor Rose Guild does something every year called Magic. And now I can't remember what it stands for, but I can't remember what the A stands for, but basically it's my good intentions. There's other words in there, but basically, what are we going to work on for this year? You don't have to sign up for it, but it's fun to sign up for it. And then in the December meeting, we share what we worked on and did we finish anything from our magic list. So my magic list, I went through all my charts, and this is what I want to finish this year. I'm not saying this is only, but this is going to be what I focus on finishing. Well, let me show you. This is one, Mary Finley, which is why I pulled her back out. And I don't think it's a huge sampler. I'm down to the second row out of 4. So Mary Finley is on my magic list that I want to finish it this year. That's one. I put 4 things. This is another. There is Liberty, and that's why I wanted to do the feather tree, because I think this would go well with some of the other patriotic that I'm working on or have done. So there is Liberty. The verse says, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Doing that on 36 count American chestnut. Where are the threads? Here are the threads. Looks like mostly DMC with a couple of weeks. Is that right? Yes. You know, lots of beautiful colors. This is where I'm at. This is on, as I said, American chestnut. Here's the color. That's actually the color. Let me hold it up. So I did work on that, added a few more. Oh, no, I didn't. I did in November, I think. A few more houses. So that's on my magic list, as is Across the Sea sampler by Chessie and Me. This one does have some specialty stitches, quite a few. Rice stitch, Smyrna cross, some over 1. Where's the threads for that? Here are the threads. Mostly weeks with some classic color work. And I did work on this quite a bit last summer. I started it on Flag Day. Did I say what this was on? No, I didn't. Of course, all my book's buried. Espresso. It's on 40 count R&R Espresso. The threads, there's that. Let me hold it up. So I've got 2 patriotic that I want to get done. So where's this gonna go? And the other one, it's gonna fall, that I have on my magic list, meaning I want to finish it. This is a big one. And I have worked on it quite a bit, but I got some left to do. This is Antonga Ufendel by Hands Across the Sea. A lot of people have worked on it, finished it, are working on it. It's stunning. I am using 40 count needle and flax Sleeping Bear, and I am using the Vicki Clayton silk pack. So that is a pack that you can order. And here it is. I love this Sleeping Bear color. I haven't worked on this recently. There's the color. I got all the bones of the border done. And I got most of the top done. I'm missing some over 1. I think I got all the flowers in. Missing some over 1. I think I have a little bit left to do on the basket. It's where about 4 pages come together, so I'm getting that done. I got the trees mostly done. I think was there a flower left? Let me see. Yeah, there's a flower and a leaf on the basket I still have to do. Starting to work on that motif here. It's such a gorgeous sampler. I love the design of that basket, the trees. It's a beautiful design. So that is one of the other ones that I want to focus on finishing this year. So that, I think, is everything. No, I have one more thing to show you. One more. It should have been in haul. Let me just check. I went to the little antique mall near us. Well, it's not really near us. It's 20, 30 minutes away now with the traffic. It didn't used to be that far. They've added, like, I don't know how many traffic lights on the road we take to go up there. Anyway, is beside the point. I have found some wonderful treasures there, and I had to go up there for something else. So then I'm going to stop at the antique mall. And I was specifically looking for some frames for Marianne Kopp. Did not find it because I didn't take her with me, and I was afraid to purchase anything. So I'm going to go back up there. I saw a couple frames, old frames that might work anyway. But what I did buy is an enamelware tray. You know, those trays. It's very heavy, and I'm using it to put my magnets on. So these aren't all my, not magnets, needle minders. These aren't all my needle minders, but I love seeing these. So the ones that, usually I take the needle minders off when I start to work on when I'm done working on something. You've seen a couple that are still on, but most of them I take off and put on a board. Well, I had a little cookbook stand that was metal, and it wasn't very convenient, so I thought this will work. So that way I can see it. It's actually in my closet, but I can look at it. It's right by the threads. So it's a little easier to pull the minders and see them. So anyway, just an idea for you, one of these enamelware trays that are metal. Found it at the antique shop. I don't know what I paid for it, but it was under $10. It was probably cost less than the metal cookbook stand that I bought at Hobby Lobby. So wanted to show you that, and I think that's that's it. I'm filming this on January 19th on Sunday, but I don't think I'm going to upload it today. Probably upload it Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. We have a really busy week this week, so I'm going to tape it Sunday afternoon, and then I'll upload it in a couple of days. So I think that's all. I want to thank you for joining me, and thank you for all your comments, all your lovely comments over the last few episodes, videos, Flosstube that I've done. It's meant a lot. Thank you so much. I love reading your comments. There's a lot of wisdom. I've said that before, but people have shared things. Look at the comments when you watch a Flosstube video. Even if you're on a device, you can just pop on the comments and read through, and there's a lot of good comments. So thank you, and some of you have subscribed recently. I want to thank you for that as well. So we're done. Gonna come back in 2 or 3 weeks. I'll be working on, well, I know today I'm working on Real Comfort by Modern Folk Embroidery because it's snowing, so I'm gonna work on that a little more. Although that Celtic band sampler's calling me, I don't know. We'll see. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful stitching time until I see you again, and I will see you soon. Bye, everybody.